The whole idea behind this exercise is to really help us understand where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are, and build our installation resilience so that we can survive a loss of electricity over a long period of time.
And this is GMSEnduringServant. This exercise is called a black start exercise. And they're saying that this is going to help to test their backup power generation capability. And as the guy had just mentioned, he states that they may be without power for a prolonged period of time. So today, this is going in motion. This is a planned 8-hour installation-wide power outage that's going down. And it's going to affect people outside of the facility. They're saying that 85% of the facilities will have power back on after the first 2.5 hours of the exercise. But other areas are not. Some areas will continue receiving power within 30 minutes. Fort Carson officials here asking families to remain patient during the exercise. So, just a heads up here to this situation. This here shows once again that not only the military, government sectors, they're out here planning for a massive lights out situation. They've telegraphed this from the World Economic Forum, whether it's an EMP, whether it's a cyber attack, just them flipping the switch. Let's not forget, last year, a record amount of substations attacked, over 125. Something huge is going on. Just saying. So this is the latest. Shout outs to Tacos on this one. I'll leave links below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more. It's been GMSEnduringServant. Stay sharp, y'all. Much love.
Hey, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and others of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Shai, brother Thumb. To your hopeful elect. Alright, and just real quick, because the topic of these blackouts, once again, preparing for blackouts, because we know, or as we should know, it's not a matter of if, but when the lights do go out here in the streets of America, all right, the cities of America, it's only a matter of time, and it's just like, because the Lord is constantly warning, warning after warning going out, all right, because that's the scriptures talk about how the Lord, he sends the scourges for a mimic, and it's funny because you got a lot of Jake, man, who are simply watching this, they watch the videos for entertainment, always complaining about how, we're pretty much going into the same topics over and over and over again. And it's just crazy because, to Jakes that say that and have that attitude and that mindset, man, you don't even know that you're condemning yourself, because, hey, when it's all said and done, man, all right, you're definitely going to be one of those that can't say that you weren't told. Because, again, you're basically putting your own foot in your mouth when you make that statement. Because, again, the Lord is very repetitive, and he's giving everyone, all of us, more than enough time to get right, to spiritually prep. Because while you got everyone that's out here carnally prepping, all right, well, we're spiritual preppers, all right, and like I said, it's just a matter of time before, not if, but when the lights do go out here in the city streets of America. I'm gonna get this real quick. In the book of Luke, because ultimately this is talking about going into with the missiles, all right, because when the missiles come down, the elect are going to get beamed up, and to those that get left behind, man, they're going to be crying, weeping bitterly, asking, begging for mercy, but it's going to be too late by then, But even before that, when all hell breaks loose out here, because again, when this darkness comes, all right, when the lights, when it goes pitch black here in America, man, the men of the Lord are going to have light. They're going to be the light, just like back in ancient Egypt, like it tells in 2 Esdras 15 how the Lord, he's bringing those plagues to Egypt once again. One of those plagues being that darkness, to where it was so dark, the darkness it was so a darkness that could be felt. It was so thick and so tense. That I'm gonna get this real quick before I read this in Luke. I think that's Ecclesiastes. All right, because during this time, there's going to be a lot of chaos, anarchy. All right, neighbor against neighbor, people robbing one another. You know, you got this the people still for the most part have the luxury now to go out and about and just party hard, do what they want, so on and so forth, move about freely. But the time is going to come when that's going to be done away with, because it's going to be crazy out here. It's going to be total anarchy. You know, perilous times, as the scriptures describe this time that we're coming into. Very dangerous times. You know, and each move that you make in that day, man, it can be your last. You know, people in that day, they're going to be like a chase road. You know, you ever watch those the Animal Planets, Discovery channels or whatnot? You know, and oftentimes you see those documentaries where you have the antelope or whatever, the deer or whatever, right? Coming up to the waterbed to drink water, and you see how circumspect it is, because hey, it's a dangerous world. The animal kingdom, the animal world is a very dangerous world. You know, you'll see that roe drinking the water, man, and it's just every little slight movement of sound, man, that thing is ready to dip out of there. That's how it's going to be in these days, man, like a chase roe, because that's how dangerous it's going to be. Every little crackle, any noise, anything, all right, hey, people are going to be hella scared, man, because that's how bad it's going to be, especially when these lights go out, and because it's going to go from a matter of hours to days to weeks, because eventually, they're always doing these beta tests, these test runs to see how the people are going to react, all right, because that's what Esau is, man. He's a skillful, he's a cunning hunter, all right. He studies the people, all right. But the time is going to come when it's going to be the real deal, all right. And eventually the lights are not going to come back on. Eventually they're going to stay off, all right. So I'm going to get this in Ecclesiastes 12:4. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." All right, because just the point being, I'll read it again. It said, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low." All right, because it's not going to be no work. You're not going to have people, traveling to and fro, traveling here and there. All right, because these people, man, it's just, yeah. When you're out and about, man, it's just the tension being at an all-time high, and everyone's in a rush. You got these people, man, who shouldn't. I don't know how they got their license, but clearly most of these people, man, they're just not fit to drive these vehicles, man. Always swerving through traffic and blowing the horns, and it's just chaos, man. It's just disorderly, right? But soon the time's going to come when you read on, it says, "When the sound of the grinding is low," it says, "and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird." All right, because again, like I said, right now you see people out and about, cars going up and down the streets. Like I said, people blowing the horns, right? I live right across the street from a freaking fire station, and it's like every 5 minutes you're hearing these goddamn fire trucks, man. Every 5 minutes it seems like, man, and it's just annoying. And I'm parked in my driveway right now, and you got Jake, playing their music, and you know how Jake get down, man. It's probably Northern Kingdom, blasting their music and shit, having a good time or whatever. But soon, all right, all this is going to be done away with, because like I said again, it said, "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird." All right, so soon, because nature's going to take its course, and that's pretty much all that's going to be. You're going to hear, for the most part, nature, right? Aside from the fact that you're going to hear people screaming, people getting raped and killed. But aside from that, man, all you're gonna hear is birds chirping, nature. You're gonna hear nature taking its course. Because again, all this with the cars and all this is gonna be done away with. All this is gonna be done. You see, man. But I was gonna go to this in Luke chapter 13, I do believe. You know, we stated trying to tell these people about, hey, the lights are going to go out here in America real soon, man. You know, you don't want to be one of those that's without, you know, without knowledge, without this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because again, like back in ancient Egypt, all right, the children of Israel, they had light, while the Egyptians, they suffered in that darkness, man. They were in that darkness, and they were catching hell. It wasn't like they were just sitting in their room, because like I just read in Ecclesiastes, everyone's going to be shut up, and you're not going to be able to, for the most part, go out, because it's going to be too dangerous. You know, if the Spirit of the Lord is not with you in that day, man, you're just going to be a walking target if you try to go out and, you know, do anything, man. Everyone's going to be shut up in their houses and, you know, hiding out, and, you know, because, again, it's going to be crazy. Because, again, people, as I always say, man, you know, when the tough really gets going, hey, people, they're going to get their essentials the ski mask way. They're just going to go out and take it. And, again, if the Spirit is not with you, man, then, hey, you're going to be a walking target. All right. But I'm going to get this in Luke chapter 13, verse 28. It says, there shall, and now, like I said, because ultimately, you know, going into the missiles, when the elect get beamed up, as the missiles are coming down, everyone else is going to be, you know, weeping and crying, you know, begging for mercy, wondering if they're going to get beamed up next. All right. Panicking, anxiety, stress, all of the above. But it says, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when you shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of the Most High, and you yourselves thrust out. All right. You see me? Because like I said, you don't want to be one of those that's without. All right. Because going back to ancient Egypt, when the children of Israel had light. All right. And the Egyptians, they were sitting in that darkness, getting plagued, jacked the hell up. Like I said, it wasn't like they were just sitting in the houses. No, man, they were getting jacked up, man. They were getting plagued. Demons, demonic forces, apparitions, spirits. All right. And that's what's going to happen again on a much more magnified level. You know, the Lord's going to open at some point during this time, the Lord's going to open the fourth dimension. All right. You know, the spiritual realm. You know, we're going to see demonic forces and all type of crazy stuff, man. You know what? The children of Israel are going to have light. All right. The children of Israel, they're going to have that force field, that hedge of protection. Because the scriptures talk about how, hey, to the hopeful elect, even the beasts of the field shall be in league with us. You know, while everyone is getting torn to pieces by wild beasts, and like I said, neighbor upon neighbor getting torn to pieces by demonic forces, apparitions. All right, those same apparitions and beasts, and you know, or whatever the case may be, hey, they're going to be in league with us. All right. You know, I'll you know, just and you know, using my imagination, you know, I often just think about how, like, let's just say, you know, in that day, man, you can be running from some martial law troops, man. You might have some crazy demon, all right, you know, because it might be you with your rib and your family, whatnot, man, and you might get pinned to a corner or some shit, right? And you know, you might think it's the end of the line, but hey, you know, those martial law troops or whatever, man, they might, you know, surround you, and you might think it's the end of the line, and hey, you might have a demon just pop out of nowhere and just slaughter them all, man. You know, I just be thinking about stuff like that, you know, because again, they're going to be in league with us. Lord, wonder where that number. But to everyone else, hey, they're going to be left out, man, thrust out. You know, again, while the men of the Lord, because unlike ancient Israel, this time only the elect men of the nation of Israel, all right, the men of the Lord are going to have that light. They're going to be that light, you know, because there's going to be a special spirit, a special hedge of protection surrounding the men of the Lord, you know, because, you know, it's heavy, because you just got to imagine, you know, this time, which is known as the worst time known to man, the worst time in history, pursuant to Daniel 12:1. Nevertheless, even with that being said, you're going to have the men of the Lord in that day actually laughing, you know, eating. You know, their bones are going to be fat. They're going to be good. And that says a lot, because, again, this is going to be the worst time in history. You know, this is going to be the worst time in history, man. But yet you're going to have a select few that's actually going to be, while everyone else is crying, sighing, weeping, and gnashing of teeth, like I just read, right? Begging, pleading for mercy, confused, just without, man, just in a pitiful case. Yet the men of the Lord are going to be the prophets. The men of Yahweh Shem Al Shai, they're going to be straight. All right. Because again, like ancient Egypt, all right, when the nation of Israel, they had light. Well, again, in this time, it's going to be the men of the Lord, the men of Yahweh Shema Shah are going to have the light, and people are going to see it. You know, it's going to be well known, like it tells in 2 Ezra 16, who the Lord's dealing with in that day, man. This is going to be a special light. This is just going to be a special spirit on the men of Yahweh Shema Shah that day. But everyone else is going to be left without in darkness. All right. You know, real quick. Because again, in that darkness, man, you know, just being left without, just in a state of not knowing, you know. Bear with me real quick. That state of confusion, you know, like am I next, you know? You might be stuck in your apartment complex because, like I said, you know, hey, everyone's gonna be shut in their houses, man. You know, they're not gonna know. There's gonna be a lot of confusion, chaos, anarchy, right? And you might hear, your neighbors getting ravished, raped, probably. You hear them probably getting eaten alive, eaten to death, gunshots going off, and it's going right next door, and you're sitting there panicking, you know. just wondering in a state of panic and stress, anxiety. Like, am I next? Are we next? You know, you got your rib, your children with you. They're all panicking, you know, stressing out, bugging out, you know. Hey, like I said, that the weeping and gnashing of teeth, you know, crying out to, oh God, oh Jesus, you know, or whoever you pray to, whoever these people, whoever they're praying to nowadays, man, and then I get no answer. You know, it's you could just imagine the effect on the mind, man. You know, just bear with me real quick. So yeah, I'm gonna get this in Matthew. Matthew chapter 8. Matthew chapter 8, verse 12. It says, but the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right. So again, you know, like I read in Luke, you know, ultimately going into those missiles and how the elect are going to get beamed up, but everyone else is just going to be left without, you know. And again, even before that, when it's all said and done in this total anarchy, chaos, all right, you know, these people, they're just going to be left without, wondering, questioning, am I next? Wondering, questioning, where they're going to get their next meal from? Wondering, questioning, you know, just that feeling of not knowing, which it can be a very fearful thing. You know, it can really, you know, plague in your mind, man, you know. But you see, because this is where our faith is going to have to kick in ultimately. You know, I'm going to read verse 10 in Matthew 8. I'm going to jump up to verse 10 real quick. When Yahushua heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. All right, because hey, faith in that day is going to be very precious. It's going to be rare. Not only the men of the Lord are going to possess it. Like I said, in that day, that feeling of not knowing, you know, hey, it can be a very fearful thing. It can be one of those things that it just really plagues on your mind, man. And again, you know, because hey, these people, man, they're about to really bug out. You know, they're really going to be left in a state of confusion, a state of just not knowing, no assurance of that life, and just all of the above, man. Everything bad that can happen, all right, all the worst things that can happen is going to happen. It's going to take place in that day. All right, Yahweh Shema Shah, he's about to bring these worst people's fears to real life. Like I said, the Lord's going to open the fourth dimension, like he did back in ancient Egypt. You know, and you know, we think about alligators because that's a common thing out here in Florida, man. You know, alligators, you know, snatching people out their homes, knocking on people's doors and snatching people out their homes. You know. That's a common thing out here, you know. bobcats, wild, mountain lions and stuff like that. But the scriptures talk about newly created beast. So this shit out there that we don't even know about, that the Lord has in store, especially specifically for this day that we're, this time period that we're coming into. Newly created beast. All the myths. A lot of us grew up watching Bigfoot and stuff like that. Well, all that's going to be brought to life, and then some. So it's about to be, as I always say, America is about to be the worst rated R movie of all time, man. Because this shit, the Lord's about to bring this shit to real life. And it's going to be a reality real soon, man. But hey, like I said, like we've been saying, whether you want to take heed or not, hey, prepare, get ready for a lights out event here in the cities, in the streets of America. Lord willing, this was edifying. All praise to Yahweh Bashemal Shai. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shema Shah Brakathem to you hopefully elect. Shalom.